Welcome back, you guys, to Enlightened Investments podcast. This week we have part two with Magically Bree. Today we're going to be going over some moonology. We're going to talk about fall equinox because 'tis the season. And then we might get into a couple of other things. Before y'all ask me, yes, my arm is broken. Yes, it is in a sling. I am okay as I can be, but I will be better as time continues. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So let's go ahead and start with fall equinox.
Mhm.
I feel like fall equinox is a time where we're supposed to be getting ready to transform because we got pretty much Leo, Virgo, and then Libra season. In Leo season, we're focusing on our light, how to navigate our light, how to share our light, how to open up our hearts. Virgo season calls for organization, strategy, and attention to detail. And then when we get to Libra season, we're asking how to relate that back into the world and how to make connections and build relationships based on what we've gained from Leo and Virgo. But I feel like once we go into Scorpio season, and then Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, all of that is just transformation time. It's dark season.
Mhm.
And if you haven't really done the reflection and release that you needed to do during fall equinox and beforehand, it's harder to go through that transformation and get through winter solstice. So what are your thoughts on that? And what are some things that you usually will do during this time to set yourself up for success?
Okay, so I definitely think physically, right? Like, okay, this is time where we're preparing for the winter. Think about it. It's about to start cold, the days are gonna be shorter. This is a time, like if you're thinking in the physical sense, this is the time where you'll be getting your harvest, putting everything up, you know what I'm saying? Preparing for these cold winter months. So, in a spiritual sense, I'm thinking the same way. This is the time to prepare because a lot of us, I don't know if you deal with it, I know I do. When it's cold, when it's winter, I'm dealing with seasonal depression. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with things are just harder. The holidays tend to be very hard for me, you know what I'm saying, for my emotions, my mental health. Even though it's fun and it's festive, it's a difficult time of year. I thrive in the summertime. In the wintertime, not so much. So now I'm thinking about things like, okay, this is fall equinox. I know what's coming. We know the seasons. By now we know what's to come. So this is my time to take those steps to prepare myself. So some things that I would do is letting go of a lot of stuff, not taking some of the things that I had with me into the winter. This could be people, this could be, habits, letting those things go so that we're not as heavy. Our spirit isn't as heavy. There's not as much on our plate at this time. What else would I would say? I would definitely say fall equinox is about balance. This is a good time of year to start thinking about hmm work life balance, and you know what I'm saying, family life balance, and how can I balance everything, as well as a lot of self-reflection. I know summer was fun, but there's some things where I'm like, oh, I could have been doing this or I should have been doing that. So I think this is a good time to kind of just like sit down and get to work too. um Hmm. But yeah, the equinox basically is just representing the transition from summer to winter. So I know I think I said pretty much everything that I'm feeling, but it's that harvest for me. It's the harvest time. You know what I'm saying? Reaping the rewards of all the things that we've been putting the work in, especially over Virgo season. I feel like Virgo season is where a lot of work gets done, even subconsciously. A lot of work is getting done at that time. So yeah, the girl, it's almost winter. My least favorite time of year. I mean, I love Scorpio season. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Scorpio. But winter, we could blow by that and get to Aries season at this point.
Don't do that.
Don't rush it, huh? Because
Don't-
that's the astrological new year and all of that. So I'm ready for it though. I'm ready for what's to come. I really am.
I'm not gonna lie. Child, I'm over this year.
It's
It
a lot,
hasn't
yeah.
been a bad year. It's just been so much revelation and like a lot of healing that I've had to work through, and just like a lot of things that I had to realize I needed to start convicting myself of and changing. And in the midst of all of that, it's just been so much transition, and I'm just like,
You
I'm
tired of
tired.
mhm. Yeah,
I'm like, Lord, I knew this was gonna be a spiritual year, but golly, this is
right.
just
And why you
crazy.
say that? Because of the numerology, it's a 7 year? Or what
Yeah,
is 7 year?
yeah, it is. It's a seven
Mm-hmm.
year. And last year definitely gave six energy for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
already knew this year was gonna be right in alignment with that seven energy, but I didn't know that I was gonna be pulled like really deep into my spirit and into God like I have been. And as healing as it has been, I would be lying if I said it was easy and
Mm-hmm.
like breezy. I've had to make so many sacrifices and change so many things and cut people off and change the way I react to certain things. And it's just like, oh Lord
Yeah.
Jesus.
Growing pains. I feel it because it's like you're elevating, you're reaching new levels, but I know it's difficult. Same thing for me. Sometimes I'm like, God damn, like how did we get here? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, not in a bad way, but it's just like it's been a lot. It really has.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm not gonna say I want to blow through winter because I'm a Capricorn, so I gotta go through Capricorn season. But I'm definitely ready for a new beginning, and Aries season I know is gonna bring that. I'm also ready for this eight energy because I already know I'm gonna
Money.
end up on the upside of that eight, and it's gonna be win-win-win no matter what. So I'm
Yeah,
just like, all right, let's get it. But in the meantime and in between time, girl,
we
I'm
gotta get
like,
there.
yeah. And I know it's not just me. I know a lot of people are having a lot of revelation this year and being pulled closer to spirit, having to hold themselves accountable for new things. So it's just a lot of transition, essentially,
Mm,
is what it is. But yeah, it's definitely draining. Fall equinox is our time to go from summer to fall. And I feel like the main message of fall equinox is, what do you have that you are grateful for? What harvest are you reaping? And what do you need to leave behind to
mhm.
make sure that you're moving into the space that you need to move into to get ready for
Are you
rebirth?
gonna be doing any rituals at this time, or like how do you celebrate fall equinox?
Usually I will do some journaling and do some candle magic, but I
Mhm.
haven't been able to write because I am right-handed.
Uh,
Um, and my right hand is broken. So what I probably will end up doing is just doing a ritual with this full moon tomorrow, doing some candle
mhm.
work. I probably will go outside and speak some things into the moon as far as releasing, and then I'll probably just leave it at that. Normally, I'll try to go to the water around this time, but
Mhm.
I went to the beach this past weekend, so I already did that aspect of it. Um, but I'll try to go to the water, and I just really be focused on like cleansing and releasing, because I don't want nothing coming with me that needs to go.
Yeah. Girl, I've been having this crazy urge to just clean. It's like when you have a baby, you go through this period called nesting when you're like prepping everything, you're getting everything ready. You know what I'm saying? I've been feeling that a lot like the past week. Like, I know I'm not preparing for no child now. So it's got to be like just part of that fall equinox thing of the winter's coming, prepare, clean, get ready, that kind of thing. So I think
Mhm.
that's how I'm going to celebrate it, just by making sure I do, they have the spring cleaning. So I'm going to do like a fall cleaning, just getting everything, prepared.
Yeah. That's really the best thing to do with this.
Mhm.
Get prepared, bring balance into your life, make sure that things are balanced and equaled out, clarify, harmonized, cleanse.
Mhm. So y'all get the cleaning. It's
Mhm.
that time.
This is our last super moon, this full moon, I think until next year.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts about this Aries full moon?
I'm ready. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm not gonna be doing anything too major. But this Aries full moon, I always like Aries energy because I feel like it's that push we need sometimes to really like go after what we want. So sometimes we're kind of halfway like, oh yeah, I want that, but then Aries come around and it's like, oh, go get it. Like, so I feel like that's kind of like the energy that I'm getting from this full moon. Um, yeah, I'm excited for it tomorrow. I think it's gonna be nice.
Me too.
And it's a super moon. I think we had a few consecutively, right? So this is the last one. And yeah, I think, yeah.
Until next year, this is the last one. I'm
Mm-hmm.
this moon. I feel the same way about Aries energy. I think that's why I'm so attracted to Aries. I don't know why my hand is itching, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's why I'm so attracted to Aries in general, because there's something about Aries energy that does push me outside of my comfort zone and make me like get on my shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited just for like, I've been talking the past 3 months about like showing up in my authentic self and,
Mm-hmm.
walking my truth and, just being a real leader. And I feel like this moon is going to give me the opportunity to release anything else that's holding me back from that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Aries being the first sign of the zodiac and my inner child being triggered, I feel like this is going to be a good time for me to kind of release some of that and, start the healing process through that as well. So I'm excited for this moon too. I am
Mm-hmm.
going to do some ritual. Tomorrow I probably will do some typing so that I can do some form of journaling, if not record video diary or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I just feel good about this energy. Like, I haven't honestly been in the mood for these moons, to be
I know.
100% honest.
Right.
The Virgo new moon I was excited about because I was like, I can definitely set some business intentions for this energy. And I know it's going to be plentiful. But the 2 moons before that, even the blue moon that we had, like I was tuned into it because I'm just always tuned into the moon, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really excited about it. I mean, we've been in the middle of retrograde season, so I haven't
Yeah.
really been in the mood to do any type of deep.
How was this retrograde for you? Do you feel like it was extra intense or like super like I do too, girl. Whew, that shit had me going. So
Girl.
we still kind of in the shadow too, I think. So let me not talk too much.
Huh?
I said I think we still kind of in the shadow. So let me not talk too much. Knock on wood.
Well, um, Mercury and Venus post shadow period are over.
Okay.
So we're out of the woods with that. Pluto is coming out of retrograde on the 4th of October.
Okay.
And then towards the end of October, I think Neptune is coming out of retrograde. And from there, planets will just continue coming out of retrograde. Jupiter just went in, won't be coming out until December. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as far as the close planets that are close into us,
Yeah, we're
we're
good.
the only thing that
And
I
that's the
think
ones that affect us the most, the ones that are closer. So
Sagittarius people or people who are very Jupiter ruled, who have a lot of Jupiter influence, will probably be heavily affected by retrograde. Jupiter is in Taurus, so it probably will mostly affect people's money.
mm-hmm.
But beyond that, I'm not too worried about the rest of these retrograde. But as far as retrograde season for me, girl,
It was a
it
lot.
was
Yeah.
it was a lot. I feel like I did a lot of confronting. I did a lot of arguing. I did a lot of releasing. I did a lot of like reorganizing. It was definitely work.
That's
But I'm happy because I feel like next year when retrograde season rolls around, I'm gonna be good. Like
yeah,
I have to deal with all of this.
right. Do the work. That's all I be saying. Like we just got to do the work. Once we do the work is done. You know. So
Yeah. And even if there's more work to do that comes up, it's like you never have to do this same work again.
right, you built the foundation of whatever, and now you can move on to the next. Yep.
Right. So yeah, I'm excited for the end of retrograde season. I'm excited for the new year.
Me too.
Fall equinox, I'm just excited about the transition and the harvest, the harmony.
Mhm.
I need the harmony and equilibrium for sure. Maybe Libra season will bring me some of that at some point.
Right.
But other than that, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just over this year. I feel like I've gained all that I'm supposed to gain from this year. I done learned what I'm supposed to learn. I done released a whole bunch of shit. I done committed to going to therapy. I done
Mhm.
changed the way that I do business and all the things. Like I done had all the confrontations with my wife. It's just been enough that I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right,
Oh, you know what? I want to talk to you about this one day.
what?
I don't know how you feel. Is your wife a spiritual person, or do you feel like they're more like not really as spiritual?
Honestly, I feel like she's not as spiritual as I am. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's very intuitive and she's, I guess, what you would call like a God-fearing woman. Like she
Hmm.
tries to stay in alignment with Christian principle
Hmm.
for the most part. But as far as just like as being as spiritual as I am, no, she isn't at
So
all.
do you
And
feel like y'all clash on that, or do you feel like that's okay for her not to be as deeply spiritual as you?
sometimes we clash on it, and sometimes I feel like it's okay. And I feel like where we clash on it is because even with as deeply spiritual as I am,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always looking towards Christ consciousness for my values, for my principles, for like how I treat people and
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. So I'm always willing to pray. I'm always willing to go in my Bible and get a word. You know, I'm not about to be in nobody's church every single Sunday, but I will go
Mm-hmm.
occasionally, like when her family wants to go for Easter or, you know,
Yeah.
even something randomly out the month if she wants to go will go. I listen to gospel music all the time because it just uplifts my spirit. So I feel like I meet her where she's at spiritually. But when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to my spiritual stuff, she just be looking at me crazy. But then when it benefits her or when
Right.
it's something that's working in her favor, she don't have nothing to say.
Okay, so the reason why I asked is because I have a new boyfriend, right? He doesn't know anything about anything. Like if I say I'm doing a
She
reading, he
don't
thinks
know
I'm reading a book.
or none of that. She don't know nothing.
Yeah. So, and I really feel like that's actually for my benefit because I have tried dating like quote unquote spiritual men before, and it's almost like a competition or a push and pull of, oh, you're more spiritual, or I don't know. But with him, I don't know, the ignorance of it is kind of like, I don't know, like, do I teach him or do I just let him be? Or, you know what I'm saying? And we're also different colors, if I put it like he's white. So it's like, I think it's like, I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting dynamic being that I do this full time every day. And he has no clue what I'm talking about. I'm like, oh, I just got done doing a reading. Oh, what book did y'all read? Like, what about, sweetie?
That is adorable. I love it.
So
But
I think that's an interesting dynamic of just like, how does being spiritual play out in relationships, you know?
I think it's different for everybody. It definitely depends on,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think that my wife not being as spiritual as I am works in my favor, and me being more spiritual than she is works in her favor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do we clash at times about it? Yes, because I just feel like we've been together for 8 years, and sometimes you just need to get the fuck on board. Like
Yeah.
sometimes
Phone. I
You
didn't
just
touch nothing that, yeah, come on, you don't know. Like, yeah.
like sometimes you just need to get the fuck on board. And so that's how
Mm-hmm.
I be feeling. Like at the same time, it's like I have my ways of doing things and she has her ways of doing things. And our
Mm-hmm.
intentions are always in alignment. So we don't have to go about it the same way just to make things happen. And
Yeah.
it usually does. So, you know, if she wants to pray about it and take it to the altar and go to communion, baby, go ahead. If I
Yeah.
want to be up in here lighting candles and doing seances and all of the things, you know, that's what I'm gonna do. But I used to try to teach her certain things, but I just feel like you can't teach people to be spiritual. You either
Right.
spiritual or you don't. You want to have your own personal relationship with the God in you or you don't. And not everybody understands the concept of getting to
Well, you know
really
what? The
on
way
the
I was feeling recently is it's harder for spiritual people to date. And I don't know if you feel like that, but because I'm trying to meet people and then I tell them what I do. And the first thing, a lot of the men that I was meeting, the first thing, oh, you ain't gonna be able to cook me no food, or you know what I'm saying? Don't be doing that shit to me. Like that is a complete turn off. So I was getting really frustrated. Like I was to the point where it's like, I'm not even gonna tell these boys what I do. I'm not even finna, but then I feel like that would be hiding such a huge part of myself. This is
you.
what I do every day. Like, this is my job at this point. This is my career path. So for me to be like, okay, I'm not going to tell them that I do readings because they keep acting scared. It's just, I don't know. You don't have to deal with it if you're married, but hopefully I won't have to deal with it no more either. But I'm just saying for the spiritual girlies, do y'all feel like that? It's difficult dating?
Girl, watch the podcast. I've been
Mm-hmm.
asking everybody these relationship questions and how their
Mm-hmm.
spirit has affected their relationships. I've gotten some positive answers and some negative answers, but more than anything, I will say this is the main thing. You have to have a partner that's just willing to accept where you are spiritually and work with you. That's
Yeah.
really is. As long as you have that, then it doesn't matter what differences you have, if they agree, if
Right.
they but if they're coming off immediately, I don't even put no love spells on me. I ain't gonna be able to eat none of your food. Are you reading me without my like? Then you just don't need to be dealing with that type of energy.
Yeah. I'm
Then
like,
they're
no,
always
sir. No, I'm
as long
not gonna
as
put no
assuming,
love spell on you.
yeah,
Right.
they're always gonna be assuming that you're doing something on them, and it's just like I don't even need to do all of that.
Right.
Like, who do you think I am?
Right. Like I'm trying to trap you. If anything, you'll be
Right.
trying to trap me after you get this good coochie.
And it is harder because your standards are higher when you're spiritually
Mm-hmm.
aware. So you expect people to be self-aware. You expect them to hold themselves accountable. And
Yeah.
most people honestly do not. So it's a turnoff. It makes you look at them like, ill, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Um, so it is harder, especially when you're just dating and you don't have anyone who you're taking seriously because it's just like every
Mm-hmm.
person comes with its own set of bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
So
So I'm sorry to get off on a tangent, but I just had to talk about that because I'm just thinking like his his ignorance is okay with me. The ignorance that I don't like is the ones that's like scared immediately. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, that's cool. I want to know more about that. That's okay. Like, I'm cool with that. You're curious, whatever. But when you start acting scared of me, like, I don't like that at all.
no, that's weird.
Yeah. Girl, this dating world is crazy for me right now, but I ain't finna get into all of that.
I
Oh, but you
mean, you into
happy?
it, might as well. It's Libra season. It's
Yeah.
relationship. So hey, somebody's gonna need to hear it.
Yep, that's true.
But
Well,
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I definitely went through that before getting with
mm-hmm.
my wife, but then even being with her these years, I feel like when we first got together, it was interesting for her. She was very curious.
Mm-hmm.
She used to ask me questions and try to learn stuff. But because it's just not her thing, I just feel like nothing really ever stuck. And she's not consistent. So I just don't feel the need to pull her into it. Like
Right.
if I feel like we need to do something together, I'll make it basic. Like, okay, we're gonna do some automatic writing together, or
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna pray or we're gonna meditate or something simple
I
like
love
that.
that. Meet her where she's at. I love that for real.
Right. But as
Mm-hmm.
it's like pulling her into me doing extensive rituals,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't try to do that anymore because it just, I don't know. One, it doesn't feel right in my spirit, but two, I just feel like even if she wasn't my wife, like let's just say we were friends,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't I wouldn't want that type of energy in my in the work that I'm doing. Because what people don't understand is when you go down the spiritual path and you start doing rituals and you're tapping into different energies and elements and all the things, you have to know and
Mm-hmm.
trust that the results are going to give you what you
Right. That unsure energy, exactly. It's not gonna
right.
manifest. Yeah.
Right. So I can't be messing around with you being in my rituals and you don't even know what you're doing, and then you're questioning me and looking at me
Yeah.
crazy. Like that's not going to benefit either one of us. So
Mhm.
I just try to meet her where she's at. And then when she is interested in things, I'll explain it, but I still don't really include her.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I love that answer because that shows me like you don't have to, and that's the thing, you don't have to agree on everything. You don't have to be you not the same person, right? So there of
Right.
course it's a difference there.
Right. You always gonna have differences, just a matter of learning how to balance them out and work with them. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a good balance for certain people, not
Right.
everybody, but certain people when your partner is just not as spiritual as you are, or you have different spiritual energies going on.
Mm-hmm.
Helps bring more balance, especially for people like me and you who we're centered in our spirituality and everything we do. It's how we
Mm-hmm.
make it's what we wake up and do every day. You
Yeah.
know, there's not a day that goes by when we're not doing something spiritual.
Right. So
It's
that'll
nice.
be hard to kind of just like exclude. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, by the way, I have an altar, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
So, like, with that being said, it's nice to have somebody who is not in the trenches like that, who can pull us
Mhm.
back to like fun,
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because so you don't have to always be full. Because if just imagine if she was the same type of spiritualist and maybe she's doing the same work, and so it would just be, yeah, I feel you. It'd be overboard. It would be a lot. Not to
Yeah,
say that it wouldn't work, but it just would be a lot of yeah.
it would be overwhelming for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to have that balance for sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you have gotten somebody new because I know you've been dating for a while.
Yes, girl.
And you said boyfriend, so that means y'all past dating. It's
Oh
exclusive.
yeah, yeah. We in there now. We in that thing. So but yeah, I mean, I feel very proud of myself because I feel like I was gonna be a kind of attached to that Virgo's energy, you know, talk about for a long time. Even to
Girl,
this day, he call me
still
sometimes like, I wish it could have worked, but you know, it didn't. So time to move on. Time to move on.
so let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
After that whole situation, because that was what, 2021, 2020?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2021.
After that whole situation, and we got off Bigo, and I know like y'all had like separated for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all get back together or start back talking?
We did. We were very on and off for the whole 2022. We were on and off every other month, you know what I'm saying? It's trying to do the long distance thing. I even went out there. I went to New York and everything. So it was like we tried. But at a point, I think like last summer, when I was like, okay, this is just probably not gonna ever freaking work. So just give it up. You know what I'm saying? But to this day, girl, he called me the other day talking about, are you sitting? I'm like, why? He was like, man, I just really want to marry you. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know, it's sometimes it's like an idea, or it's like you have this kind of fantasy. And I don't know. I really tried with that boy. I really did, you know. So
No,
sometimes you gotta let go. You gotta let go.
he wasn't ready for what he said he was ready for.
Right. So and you even did readings for me, and I knew, like, you know, like I kind of feel like I know that it's probably not gonna work, but if I don't give it my all, I would feel like, well, damn, it could have worked if you would have tried harder. You know what I'm saying? But that's not it always. You could
Yeah,
try hard until you blue in the face, you know? So for the ladies, if you still stuck on your ex, you will get past it. It might take a little year or two, but it's going to take some time sometimes, you know, but you'll get past it. You'll move on.
yeah, and I find though that actually a lot of people have been talking to me about being stuck on their ex. And one
Mm-hmm.
thing I always say about that is it's nothing really wrong with going back to your ex when there's something to still do. When you guys still growth, you have unfinished business to do, you know, you still have something that you're working through in that relationship. But if
Mm-hmm.
there's growth through every time you have a conversation with them, it's draining, or
Yeah.
you're having like far and few in between good moments, but the rest of it is chaos. It's like
Mm-hmm.
tolerate, you encourage. So you can't just keep giving yourself to situations that are draining you and expect to be uplifted and empowered and feel loved. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, so like
And you know what? I think with us doing the work that we do and hearing all the different stories that we hear, people, relationship, it make us more like a realist. Like, okay, let's look at things realistically. Is this somebody that is really gonna be the, like, you know what I'm saying? It takes out the fantasy of it all. And I know I'm Queen Delusion. I like to live in my delusions. Don't tell me that my delusions is not true, because they are. They're gonna happen. Just wait on it. But it's like sometimes you can't force, you really can't force it. You can do all the work, girl. I ain't gonna get into that. But let's just say I unintentionally was doing work and not really realizing all the energy that I was putting into it was making it like, I wasn't really trying to do work, but let's just say this shit backfired. Shit backfired. So just like I'm telling people, I'm like, man, sometimes it's best to just let go. That, you know, you don't want to hear it. You really don't want to hear it at the time, but it's best to let go, because then
yeah,
you're gonna with it. Whatever the consequences are of not letting go, you know?
don't ever be afraid to let go. I'm gonna tell you that. Don't ever be afraid to let go. There's always something better out
Yeah.
there for you. And even though it may not manifest right away to fill that space, it will
Hmm.
come. It definitely will come. But it's a reason why you keep clashing with this person and y'all
Hmm.
keep, you know, the conversation is not doing what it's supposed to do. There's a reason behind that. And you will
Yeah.
be to just ignore it because you are betting on their potential instead of what's really happening in front of you.
Right. Yep. And that's what it is. Bet on potential. And I blame my Venus in Capricorn for that, because I see the potential in people. I see, oh, I could see how this would work. I could see how we would be a pair, even if I know, maybe not going to work out. You know what I'm saying? I still kind of feel that potential. So
Mhm.
yeah.
My Venus is in Scorpio, so I get
So
it.
we switch places. That's funny. You're a Capricorn. I'm a Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? That's so funny.
But you know, Scorpio energy is always trying to help somebody transform through stuff. And so we always
Mm,
like, well, if I can get you to see how you're wrong about this, or if I can get you to see how this is not the way, you know, if I can get you to see how this is hindering you, then maybe it'll just change,
right.
and you know, you'll be in alignment with what I need you to be.
No. Yeah.
Never just like that ever.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, relationships definitely are going to be a heavy theme throughout Libra season, just like it is
Yeah.
during Gemini. So y'all need to get ready for that. Um,
I feel like this is a very social time too, where you should go out, meet people. You should try to make new friends. And that's another thing. I'm talking about relationships, but even in friendship, it's sometimes hard being that spiritual friend. I call myself the magical bestie, but sometimes it's difficult being the spiritual friend because I don't know. It just feels like,
it's
I don't know how I could word that. It just feels like you're being put in a box sometimes. Like, oh, you're the spiritual one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's
I
crazy.
am a spiritual friend because honestly, none of my friends, like my close friends, anyways, are as spiritual. as I am. They don't practice the things that I practice.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's just like being the strong friend. Like everybody always thinks like you'll figure it out, you have it all together, everything is fine. They may check on you just to be nosy, but there's no real compassion or empathy, I feel like. And the only time that y'all come to me is when y'all are having problems that y'all need me to help with. And I mean, that's cool. I'm not saying like my friends are never there for me. I'm just
Right.
saying, spiritually speaking, I can count on them.
Yeah. And I
So,
don't know, I just get this vibe that people think, even my family, like they think, oh, you're a tarot reader, you should be able to just figure everything out. You should know, you should have been able to see that. Like, no, girl, that's not how that works. I
no.
mean, uh, okay, but yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I totally get what you mean when you say that. But I
Mm-hmm.
just, no. It's very hard when you have this type of calling on your life in general with
Yeah.
relationships, familial relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. It just seems like you're always being tested through your relationships.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that's why I be so isolated.
Mm-hmm.
But God is telling me to stop being so isolated in this season and like continue trying to build community and, talking to people and reaching out and all the things.
Do you
So I'm
like anything outside in the community, or you do mostly just online everything?
mostly online. I was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to when starting to do vending again because now it's the season,
Yeah.
but broke my arm. I don't even know when I'm gonna be able to do that. I was supposed to be doing an event the first week in October, and then another one towards the end of October, and then I had one planned for right before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I might still be able to do like readings, um, and just not do chair massage. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely need to get back outside though, because
Yeah.
when I'm outside, I was feeling good.
Mm-hmm. And that's always kind of been my vision for myself. It's like online is good. I love the connections that you can make online, but like doing here, not so much, because I live in a very like I live in the Bible Belt, it's very probably closed minded. I couldn't see myself like going outside doing tarot readings. But doing art, doing stuff, networking with people, the more people that know what I have to offer, the more people that will probably want to work with me in some capacity. So I like meeting people. I like going outside, you know what I'm saying? That's really fun for me. It is.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I definitely need to get back outside. I just stopped going outside in like late 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't even know why. I feel like it was mostly just due to the pandemic and then things
Mm-hmm.
online business wise for
Right.
me and me just making more income that way. But this past year, I don't know, I just feel a nudge to like get back outside, like actually in the community. So I'm definitely gonna do that. I love meeting people, talking to people about different stuff,
Mm-hmm.
just talking to people about my business and what I do. So I think that's definitely an important
As
aspect.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, we got about 8 minutes
Mm.
left. So let me see if I have any questions specifically that I want to ask you. What is some advice that you would give to someone who's just starting out on their spiritual journey about staying focused and committed?
Okay. With that, that's kind of hard for me to say, because like when I started getting into my spirituality, I never and I'm sure people do this, like they'll get into it. It's kind of like a weight loss journey, right? You might start it and then be like, okay, I fell off. That was never the case with me. So I don't see, I don't know. Like once I was in it fully. But so I would say, like, are you passionate about it? Is it something that's going to help you grow? Because I think sometimes, especially now, some people are getting into spirituality for other reasons. It's trending, it looks cute, it's an aesthetic, you know what I'm saying? So if those are your reasons for getting into spirituality, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm going to say you're going to have to find a deeper reason. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be because you want that spiritual girl aesthetic. That's cute. Don't get me wrong, we're cute. But that can't be your only reasoning for getting into this. It's a lifestyle. It's not
Right.
a ad. It's not, just something you do today and gone tomorrow. It's really a lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? So look at it. I would say definitely question yourself. What is my reasoning for wanting to know this stuff? Is it because I want to get online doing some readings on TikTok and get paid? Or is it because this is truly a calling for me? Is it because it's, it's going to help you get through a moment? And that could be very well. I think I kind of initially really dove into spirituality, like off the deep end, when my life was just so chaotic, I couldn't take it no more. So it's like there's different reasons people might, come in, but the reason why you stay in needs to be because your heart and your soul is really in it. And maybe just because you love the knowledge, you love learning, you love, occult, you love all different things. There's so many reasons, but just make sure your reasons are real. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real with yourself. Are you trying to jump on the bandwagon, or are you really feeling like that?
I'm gonna tell y'all this. Magic is not lying. Don't, I'm not gonna say don't, because it could lead you to,
Mm-hmm.
but be very leery of just starting your journey to make money or starting your journey to jump on a bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna set yourself up for things that you don't need to be going through because you're doing stuff unprotected. You don't know what you're doing. You're pulling energy from too many different places, and the chaos that you think you're going to be getting away from, you're just going to be calling more chaos to yourself. I've just always been a spiritual person, and I think magic has too. I'm sure it has a lot to do with our Scorpio energy. We are just our transformation in depth. That's just what we see in the world. And so if there's not a space for it, we definitely are people who will create that space. Like that's just operate. That's not the case for everybody. So you definitely do need to think about what is your reason for wanting spiritual depth. I always wanted to help people and make an impact. I always felt like, I wanted to help people with their mental health. I wanted to help people with addiction. I wanted to help people get out of toxic relationships. I wanted to help people heal their bodies, but all in a natural way. That's just always been since I was a child. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but little by little, step by step, things led me to this, So don't start your journey with the idea of, oh, I'm going to be a reader, or I'm going to charge people to do rituals, or, like whatever the case may be. Like, don't start with that principle because it's just not going to last.
Right. Honestly, I didn't even start doing readings until I was probably like 7 years into it. So it wasn't even just like, okay, I've started doing readings. I mean, I've started this journey and I'm just going to hop right into it. And even with that, I feel like the more you know, if you're into the spirituality stuff, the more you know, the more like aligned you have to be. Like you have to, if you know better, you have to do better. So our spiritual lessons are not going to be the same as somebody who has no spiritual knowledge. Our lessons going to be a little bit harder. You know what I'm saying? Because we know a little bit more, So if you just get into it for the wrong reason, you're going to get that first spiritual lesson. It's going to knock you on your ass and you're going to be like, no, it's the devil. I don't want to do it. No, it was because you weren't preparing yourself for this is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't know.
It's not for play. That's a fact.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. let me ask you this. How do you feel, or what role do you feel shadow integration has played in your success and in your relationships? Do you feel like learning to cope with and integrate your shadows more has helped improve your success in your relationships, or do you feel like it makes things harder to navigate, or do you feel like it's a little bit of both?
I would definitely say both. And when you say shadow integration, I'm assuming just like accepting that shadow side, doing your shadow work and that kind of stuff, right? So I would say, that is something that I feel like with Scorpio energy, it kind of comes kind of innate to be working with that shadow. And I don't know, because I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's good because it makes you so aware of the full picture. You get the full picture. It's not just the good, it's not just the bad, but you see everything. But it's also kind of difficult because when you see that other people are not on that shadow work, they're not doing their work, then it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it makes you more powerful to do that shadow work, of course. I don't know how to put that. That's a good question, girl. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into that.
It definitely is a lot that goes into it.
But I think that's something that's trending right now too. It's like, oh, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. And I actually like that more people are getting aware of, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. People definitely need to just come to terms with the fact that we live in a dual world, but really
Hmm.
we don't have to separate everything into this or that. Like that's
Hmm.
the world is moving, and we just need to, as a collective, lean more into that energy. And a big part of that is shadow integration. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that that's happening on a collective level too.
Hey, y'all. All right. Mm-mm.
Is there else?
That's
Is there
11.
else that you would like to add, and then just tell the people where they can find you?
Okay. I don't have anything to add. I think I really like talking with you because you have really good questions. You have, you know what I'm saying? You have a lot of knowledge that people are definitely learning from these for sure. So I do appreciate you having me on here. If you guys want to find me, I'm on Instagram at Magically Bree, and my divination page is Divination by Bestie. Mostly I've been sticking to Instagram a lot. I have a TikTok page. I haven't been very active on it as of lately. I feel like TikTok is already oversaturated with a lot of, so I'm like, okay, I'll bow out gracefully. So that's not one of my priorities, but I do want you guys to follow me on Instagram or YouTube at Magically Bree as well.
Make sure you guys follow her. I will definitely put her links in the description box of this video. Magic, make sure you send me your links because I am going to go today with part 1. So make sure you send me those so I can have them to put in the description box. I'm gonna go give you your postcard from Spirit, and then I'll let you go tend to your babies.
Okay.
It says, dearest you, the common sayings be in the world, but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refer to the need to be engaged with life while not getting attached to specific outcomes. Do not take this world too personally, for you are one of many co-creators here to play, and we have many ideas about how this should all play out. Just know the outcomes don't matter as much as the presence you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life. There's a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So, will you wear the world loosely, or will it straitjacket you? It is your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you are meant to. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan, loving you always and forever. I love that for you. I'm gonna send you a
Love that.
picture so you
Yes.
can look back on it. But I'll go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much again
You're
for
welcome.
pod and making yourself available. I know you be booked and busy, girl.
Girl, I'll be trying. All right. Thank you, 11. See you later.
Later. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Enlightened Investments. We are here to build community. We are here to invest in one another. We are here to be enlightened. We are here to evolve, and we are here to be empowered. So make sure you tap in with that energy. I know I look a little bit rough today, y'all. I'm having a rough week. Okay. Next week, I promise I will be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go, even with my broken arm. So I hope to see y'all here then.